In 2016, Toshio Okada watched a video of Pepper the robot and said, "Working 24/7, 365 days a year for 46 yen an hour. Cheap labor like this no longer exists anywhere, not even deep in Africa. Once a robot learns a skill, hundreds of thousands worldwide can do it simultaneously. Factory lines, dumpling chefs at Chinese restaurants, AI will take it all." To young people chasing big corporations in their job hunt, Okada warned companies have a lifespan of 7 years. The moment Google created free websites, the value of web designers' work dropped to zero. The predictions made 10 years ago are becoming reality now. Top 10 jobs AI will steal. The full vision Toshio Okada described, compiled from multiple lectures, now revealed. Watch the full video now.
Tonight's topic is robots. I'd like to talk about the history of robots. At the start, this video rambles a bit before getting into the main topic around the 15-minute mark. So if you're impatient, feel free to jump straight to around the 15-minute mark. Two young girls in the first half of the 19th century essentially invented modern robotics. And yes, both of them were quite the beauties. Their story begins around the 15-minute mark. The era that serves as the backdrop, the late 18th to early 19th century, was truly a fascinating time. The 20th century is often called the century of science, but that was the century of scientific advancement. The real birth of science, the exciting stuff, started in the late 18th century. Through the first half of the 19th century, there was an era when people believed science could do anything, and that belief shaped what came in the 20th and 21st centuries. I'd love for you to enjoy a taste of the automaton culture that existed before the Industrial Revolution. It's a long video, so brace yourself. Maybe grab some almond tofu from a 7-Eleven and enjoy it while you watch. This video is an edited re-release of content originally broadcast on October 2nd, 2016 on the Toshio Okada seminar. Please enjoy. So today, we're doing a special on robots, but not your typical robot special. What would a typical robot special even be like? The history of robots. Like how Czech writer Karel Čapek wrote a play called Rozum's Universal. Robots, which gave birth to the word robot. And then there's Tetsugen 28 Go. Or something like that. But let's approach this in a more Toshio Okada seminar style. This is my Duff Beer shirt from when I went to America for the Late America event. If it looks like Jimmy Fagun, it's probably because I'm stopping it at the neck. I was constantly asked by Americans where I bought this shirt. It's the Duff Beer shirt from Universal Studios, the one over there. So where did you end up buying it? Oh, I bought it at Universal Studios. That one. Well then, let's get going. First, I'd like to start with an image from YouTube. Can we have the YouTube image, please? I found out about this from a Facebook post by an acquaintance of mine named Go. Oshima. I read his article. The subject? You've probably seen Pepper before. So it tried 100 times in a row and failed, but succeeded on the 100th attempt. After that, it went on without a single miss. This is Pepper, failing consecutively at kendama. At first, Pepper was only taught how to swing the kendama. It was only shown the swinging motion, not how to catch it. But Pepper kept repeating it over and over. On screen right now, it's on attempt 60. Attempt 70, still failing. Attempt 80, swings. And still failing. Its expression never changes, which is honestly a bit creepy. Attempt 90. Still failing. Then attempt 100, suddenly, success. Click. And after that 100th attempt, it just keeps succeeding endlessly. Pepper goes on with a 100% success rate on kendama, over and over. No one is moving quickly in the foreground. After each attempt, A human hand is used to reset both pepper and the kendama back to a stationary state. That's all. It's not cheating. The difference from humans is a human might succeed around the 10th or 15th attempt, while pepper takes about 100 tries, but after that, it succeeds forever. That's the terrifying part. Alright, thank you for the video. That's enough. Go's Facebook comment on this video was, "This video is insane." Now, Pepper's rental fee over 3 years is 1.2 million yen, or about 3,300 yen per month. On top of that, it operates 24 hours, 365 days a year. So the hourly wage works out to just 46 yen, electricity not included. Watching this video, don't you think there must be small business owners out there thinking, even for simple, repetitive tasks, I'd love to hire something that works for 46 yen an hour? Exactly. Until now, Japanese factories were outsourcing to places like Southeast Asia and Africa because of cheap labor costs. But pepper is far cheaper. No need to raise wages, no job hopping, no complaints, no strikes. Until now, the economic reason for outsourcing to emerging countries was that it was cheaper than mechanizing. But those days are changing. The terrifying thing about the global economy is that there's probably no longer anyone in the entire world who can work for less per hour than pepper. No matter how deep into Africa you go, there's no one left who'll work for 43, or was it 46 yen an hour? So emerging economies that used cheap labor as their weapon for economic development. That strategy of taking on work at low cost as their way up the ladder, all of that might be taken away by pepper. If pepper takes over labor, emerging countries may lose the very opportunity to achieve economic development. But the really scary part, he continues, is this. Experience and tacit knowledge can now be digitally copied. If the program that taught pepper kendama were open sourced, then at that moment, hundreds of thousands of peppers worldwide would instantly know how to play kendama. In the same way, if you teach one pepper a work task, all hundreds of thousands of peppers worldwide would suddenly be able to do it. 2. Buy around version 3 of pepper. It'll probably be capable of working on factory production lines, and the outlets for human work will keep shrinking. Pepper manufacturing itself will be done by peppers. That kind of sci-fi scenario is already almost upon us. Watching this, what I thought of was dumplings. There's a rule. The staff at delicious dumpling restaurants are always grumpy. The optimal way to make dumplings is to fill the wrapper with filling and immediately cook it, either fried or steamed. Handmade dumplings really are the tastiest, and the shorter the time between making and eating, the better they taste. Why are they grumpy? Because filling dumplings is simple, repetitive labor, so everyone does it with a sour face. But if you put one pepper there, well, current pepper wouldn't be able to do it. Its fingertip movements aren't that precise. Its arm movements, neck movements, those are incredibly precise, but not the fingertips. But once that part can be programmed, you could teach pepper to make dumplings. And then, all of a sudden, the quality of dumplings in Chinese restaurants across Japan would skyrocket. Of course, there are countless variations in the filling, the wrapper, and how to cook them, but the freshest ones taste best. That's my own experience. Even dumplings I casually made myself. Filling the wrappers and cooking them immediately almost always taste better than frozen ones, or even dumplings from some famous restaurant you'd bought. So dumplings are one case where, if a pepper with fully functional fingertips were to appear, dumpling quality across all Chinese restaurants in Japan would suddenly skyrocket, and at the same time, you'd lose one staff member per restaurant. Because nobody can work for 46 yen an hour during business hours, pepper would probably just be filling dumplings. But after closing, it would do simple cleanup. And by the version of pepper we're talking about, it would probably start prepping the dumpling filling and making the wrappers overnight, so we'd be able to eat cheap, delicious dumplings at the cost of losing jobs. There's one more thing I think about. In the old days, there was this idea in poor families that children are a labor force. Like, you'd have kids because you want them to take care of you later, or because you're worried about the future. But honestly, investing 10, Or 20 million yen into raising a child through university. Versus buying a pepper. In terms of reliability, pepper is cheaper and more predictable. That's the kind of side talk I want to do today. So, let me start with the story of a business model that's dying. Getting lifetime employment, joining some big company. That's everyone's dream, right? Like, if you get into some company, you'll be fine. At least get yourself into some company to put your parents' minds at ease. And stay there. That way you'll have stability. So you aim for a bigger, more stable company rather than some tiny, unknown one. A well-known company, everyone knows. Since you went to university, after all these years. Since your parents spent 1 to 2 million yen on 4 years of education. You feel like you need to join a well-known company to make it all worthwhile. And that's why popular companies are flooded with applicants. That's why job hunting has become so competitive. But here's the problem. What's being said a lot these days is, companies now have a lifespan of just 7 years. I've been saying this a lot recently. Google launched a service called Minna no Business Online. What is this? Google surveyed professions worldwide. Shops, doctors, lawyers, all kinds of jobs. And it caters to all kinds of businesses. It offers a free service to create websites for any business. When you register for Google's Minna no Business Online, in just about 15 minutes of clicking through, you get an original domain, a URL for your web page, and a reasonably stylish-looking page is generated. Of course, it's not as sharp as what a professional would create. The sense isn't exceptional, it's decent, not brilliant, but it gets the job done. It's like Uniqlo. A top designer might put together something really sharp. Maybe you're not the most stylish person in the world. But if you just pick something from Uniqlo and put it together, it works, right? In fashion, that's actually quite sufficient in many cases. After that, it all comes down to you. Same idea here. What you can make with Minna no Business Online is like a decent Uniqlo outfit. But what really matters is the content, what you put on it. And all of this is free. So it's become possible to do it for free, which is great. But the problem is that in Japan right now, there are many companies making a living by saying, we'll create your homepage, your business webpage. There are dozens and dozens of companies doing just that. So what happens to those people? The moment Google announces Minna no Business Online, the value of all those jobs drops to zero. Because Google is offering reasonably decent content for free. No matter how hard they pitch themselves, our stuff looks better. It's more polished, it has more character. There's no way they can beat free. When everyone needs a logo or design, instead of calling up a few agencies to see their portfolios, you'd first use Google Business Online to make something for free, and then try a few other options. They'd end up calling 3 or 4 companies for quotes. Company A, 100,000 yen per page. Company B, 50,000 yen per page. Company C, 10,000 yen per page. But the competitor undercutting all of them is charging zero. How can any business survive that? That's what Google is doing, amazing, in a way. Now, in the world beyond that, even if AI can draw pictures, what about 3D works? Even if a 3D printer can make shapes, you can't choose the materials. The same goes for figurative sculpture. People who make dresses out of newspaper, or create huge dragons from collaged newspaper. Even if you could replicate that shape in plastic, it wouldn't mean anything. This field, sculpture, especially interpretive work, deforming something with your own interpretation, or expressing through the choice and texture of materials. Like the person making a dress from newspaper, that's more likely to survive, I think. But once 3D printers enter homes and include cooking, actually being able to make food, even making a dress out of newspaper could be replicated. If that happens, sculptors may end up in a world where their only work is data. But I think getting to that point will still take another 3, 4, even 10 years. Character designers and illustrators do seem like they're at risk of having their jobs taken by AI. For sure. But I think sculptors who work in 3D will last longer.